Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, happy Friday to everyone, and good morning to those of you watching in the morning. To the few of you that are up late night looking at college basketball with us, just know you'd fit in. You're freaks like we are. Hope it. Oh, Toast is here. I see your camera fine. Oh. I saw freaking Vandy blew it, man.
I didn't even get to see it, honestly.
Nevada, they were up the whole game, and didn't Nevada end up coming back and winning?
No.
No, Nevada.
Oh, Vandy won?
Vandy won by 2. Nevada missed it.
Oh, damn. Well, I would have talked some more shit if I knew that. For some reason, I thought they blew it. I thought Apollo was in the Discord was like celebrating.
Well, I mean, they nearly blew it.
I think a couple people asked me if they should bet them live, and I told them to bet them live. So if they bet them live, that would have covered.
Maybe that's what he was talking about then, because I could have sworn I saw him celebrating Nevada in the Discord, and I wasn't watching. I was watching football, so I just assumed Nevada had come back and won. Quick shout out Cleveland, shout out Machine Gun Kelly, shout out Jameis Winston, shout out Mike Tomlin. There you go. Camera just switched to the right one.
Finally.
Yeah, big win for the Browns. That was a cool one.
It's even a bigger win. Chris Boswell. Doesn't matter if there's wind blowing, snow coming down. He just goes in there, kicks his field goal, and gets out of the game, man. It's just free money every week. Shout out Chris Boswell. I'm sorry.
He's the mailman, bro. He always delivers.
Does.
All right, so we got 4 games to get to. We were going to have a 5th one, but I didn't know what graphic to set up because Tennessee's still freaking playing.
Yeah, it's just impossible to try to do that.
Right. So we'll go through these 4, and then Tennessee and Baylor.
And it's it was a close game. It's not so much.
It was
anymore.
close at the time, but now.
Yeah.
No, they've extended a lead, Tennessee, though, right?
No, I know. I'm just saying. But when you were doing that graphic, it was a tie ball game. Or making that decision, it was a tie game.
Someone says, "Let's talk Baylor." All right. So first game, Wisconsin, UCF. Yeah, but didn't St. John's cover that though?
I got a cover. I don't know why.
That's what he did.
I got a cover.
See, this is what Andy was doing. He's all over St. John's. They're gonna win. I love them. Yeah, let's go. And then they lose, and then there's crickets. I don't see no text messages. I make it left on
and then
red.
he switches to they covered.
And then he pulled because I don't know, he was talking shit about something, and I said, Andy, St. John's lost, and he goes, but Andy covered.
This is what happened. I'm not even joking. I missed the buzzer beater. I was editing a video. I missed the buzzer beater completely, but I was happy because I got the cover.
All right, so first game is Wisconsin, Central Florida. Looks like Wisconsin laying here. The graphic says 5.5, but I was looking at. I think there are 5s out there. I'm not fond of Wisconsin basketball, but I don't know anything about UCF. I actually don't know anything about Wisconsin. I just know I was fading them early on last year, and it was solid.
I would argue that, I don't know about anymore. UCF lost a lot, but I wouldn't argue that UCF was that much worse than Wisconsin is, to be honest. I don't know how Andy feels, but I think that Wisconsin obviously looked really, really good coming off of that Arizona win. And then they followed it up 3 nights later against UT Rio Grande Valley and squeaked out an 87-84 win at home. So I don't know. I don't know about you, Andy, but there's no way in hell that I'm laying 5.5 with this team on a neutral against a team that I feel like can match up with them, at least physically, experience-wise. Everything else that you can do. One thing that Wisconsin usually has over everybody else is their free throw shooting, and UCF's a really good free throw shooting team. So I'd actually think that UCF has the advantage on the board. So I was leaning on taking the points. I don't know about you.
I would agree. On a side, I'd probably be on UCF. I'd be more on the under. I'd be more inclined.
Yeah,
I didn't make a graphic because I didn't bet it yet. I made a graphic for another one. But I would probably be on an under here. I think the pace would tell you that they're about average. Wisconsin's about average pace. UCF is a bit more above average. They're like 73rd in pace. But Wisconsin's coming off. I know the Rio Grande game. But against Arizona, and that's the game everybody was watching, I mean, they shot the lights out. They were not missing. those things are not sustainable necessarily in games like this. And I certainly think UCF can defend well. Plus, it's a neutral site. We talked about that. Neutral site unders, I keep saying it, but like it's more of a thing unless games go to double overtime, apparently, because that's what the St. John's game needed. So like the neutral site part of it, but also the fact that like Wisconsin's offense is nowhere near as good as the offense we've seen in a couple of their games so far. Like especially that one against Arizona specifically. That was a home game against an Arizona team that had a bigger game coming up, and we're going to get to that. Like that they clearly were looking ahead in that one, and Wisconsin just wasn't missing. So I don't think that these offenses are anywhere near good enough to get over this number, especially on a neutral site.
And I just wanted to touch it really quickly on that Arizona game. Arizona shot 4 for 23 from deep. Not that they're going to be some head and shoulders better than that over the course of the year, but they're probably going to shoot a little bit better than that on a game-to-game basis. And Wisconsin shot almost 45% from deep, almost 55% from the field. Like that's not who Wisconsin is. They had a really good night, but that's not sustainable. So.
We have something in from the Rodfather. He says, bet on Johnny Dawkins in away or neutral games in November. Dawkins' record as a coach in those instances, 15-4 against the spread. So Johnny Dawkins is Wisconsin coach?
Oh. Yep. And they had a couple.
Wait. Johnny Dawkins is UCF coach or Wisconsin coach?
That's UCF.
UCF. Sorry, I was looking at their schedule when you said that. Yeah.
So all right, I'm with the Rodfather. Let's put it up. Central Florida.
The only reason that I didn't personally play the under is I didn't want this end up being like a free throw shooting contest and at the end and have it go over because of that, because both of these teams are really good shooting free throws. But yeah, there's no way you could play over in my opinion either.
All right, cool.
Today was the first time, or this a couple like 20 minutes ago was the first time I ever actually looked up referee assignments to do a cap of a game. I was looking up who was calling the Drake game.
Why were you so interested in this game?
Because go ahead, Andy. Sorry.
So during the Oklahoma State Florida Atlantic game, there were 50 plus fouls called, and I'm worried if that group is calling the Drake FAU game tomorrow, it's going to be a free throw contest, and I can't.
Were you watching the game?
Exactly what's going to happen.
Was there a lot of fouling, or are you saying the referees were over the top?
It was a little bit of like. It was clear they were calling just whatever they wanted. They knew they were calling tech. There was like 5 technicals called.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was reckless basketball, but at the same time, a lot of like a play there's like they could have let that go. They didn't have to call that. They called everything. Like it didn't matter. Like they just I just don't. If it's just the same type of referee assignment, it makes sense because. I have a hard time believing they're just going to hold the whistle now the next game out.
It's like looking at umpires in baseball. It shouldn't matter, but sometimes it does.
So we got to look up the referee assignment for the Miami Drake game.
Or
do you see where that?
Andy did it for you.
All right. So next up we have Nebraska Creighton. Andy, you have to go first because Toast has never understood East Coast basketball.
I didn't know this was East Coast.
Creighton's Big East.
I was like, wait.
No, but Big East. Hold on.
Exact location. Same location.
Big East basketball.
Yeah, I get it.
You don't turn to Toast for Big East basketball.
Against St. John's.
That's true. You don't.
I'm on the under. This one, let me pull up the notes real quick. This one was pretty clear to me. I don't think either of these teams are getting in a 3-point contest for sure. Neither one of them want to shoot threes. They only want to shoot 2-pointers. 2 is less than 3. I don't know if you guys know that.
Oh.
And then the pace, they both run fast paces, but they're also both pretty solid defenses. So I just don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. Also a rivalry game. So that also plays into it. So I think this is a revenge.
This is a rivalry?
Yeah, dude. They're both in the exact same location. They're both.
I didn't even know that.
In Omaha. So yeah, I think the under here.
Wait. Since when does Creighton not shoot 3-point shots? Is that new? Because they always shoot threes.
I mean, their point distribution.
No, but that's new though, because Creighton is usually normally a 3-point.
3 percentage of their points is 3-pointers. So they're just not shooting threes.
But historically,
because they brought in guys like Pop Isaacs, and that's completely different than like Baylor Shilerman and stuff like that in the past. Pop Isaacs is a get to the basket type of guy, defend. He's not. I mean, what has he shot last year? 30% from deep for Texas Tech or whatever it was. So I think he shot a little bit better. But to Andy's point, yeah, they're just not the same 3-point shooting team as they were.
So this is like a new era in Creighton basketball then.
Yeah, they got that Stephen Ashworth guy. I mean, he can shoot it from deep, but I mean, besides that, I don't really know anybody else that really worries about me. What's that Isaac kid? Yeah.
So when Andy said under, you cringed a bit. Is that meaning you don't agree with that?
It's not that I don't agree. It's just that I do think the pace is going to be there, and with it being a rivalry game and both teams shooting really good free throws, I just don't feel. I also kind of lean with Nebraska. I don't know if I think part of me feels like Creighton's getting a little bit of respect on their brand name, and I also think that. One thing that you can't ask me about is West Coast basketball, especially the WCC. Nebraska just got done playing St. Mary's, and I think that St. Mary's is a very good basketball team. They're top 40 in the country, and they played that. I mean, again, that game was at home. It's on neutral, but it was kind of home for Nebraska. But I just don't feel like the separation between St. Mary's and Creighton is that large. And now, again, this game is an away game, but it's essentially like a neutral. I lean Nebraska. I really do. I don't know if I'm actually going to get to the window with them because they really haven't played anybody besides St. Mary's. But that's the same thing you can say about Creighton. I mean, Creighton's played the 340th strength of schedule so far. This is by far and wide their biggest test of the year. So it is a home game for Creighton. Sorry, I said that wrong a couple minutes ago. But regardless, I also don't think that Creighton's going to shoot 70% from the field, or at least from the 2-point percentage as the rest of the year either. So. I lean Nebraska. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but I really, really want to. It really feels like Tennessee, Villanova, or Tennessee, Virginia to me. Like I said, I leaned to Virginia in that one. It looked good, but now it doesn't. We'll see.
So Tinker said, let Andy finish. Did I cut Andy off?
Oh, nobody cut me off on this one. I was about to mention something now, but do the Rod thing.
Yeah, the Rod father is calling you out, Andy.
Oh no.
He said, not really. His trend is towards the over. So he said, bet over the total in Fred Hoiberg away or neutral games versus good ball handling teams, committing 14 or less turnovers per game. The over record in those instances, 45-20 as the coach of Nebraska. Wow, Andy, you're on a sucker bet. It looks like 40.
Credit to Creighton has played absolutely nobody, although they did play UT Rio Grande Valley, who looks to actually be somewhat competitive. Their schedule after this game is sick. They play UNLV, San Diego State, Alabama, Kansas. They have a really hard schedule coming up, so maybe they're looking ahead a little bit as well. Although it's a rivalry game, I don't think they will. That could be part of it. But I just think
St. John's Creighton on December 31st could be.
Yeah, they have an unbelievable schedule.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised they're doing that. Although they opened Big East play with Georgetown. So.
Craig Williams is in the comments is upset that your 3-leg parlay didn't hit.
We all are.
I am too.
I bet the reverse.
I knew. I think Andy and I both knew it died when we woke up this morning and saw that line move. I think we all made that.
Yeah,
very
I
clear.
was so confused. I didn't understand
you.
it. I could be wrong. Vanderbilt looks like an actually half decent team. I'm surprised.
As if I wasn't saying that every midnight stream.
We're saying it because of the offensive coordinator of the football team.
Reasons. Don't get hung up on
the son of a bitch has beat us 2 times in a row, Andy. Obviously, he's figured it out, and we have.
Really?
I tried to explain it to you. When you bring a personality like that into the athletic department, it's like electricity through all the locker rooms, all the facilities, and clearly, I mean, you guys will get it. You guys will get it eventually. Stick with it.
What bothered me in a serious note about that Vanderbilt game is that I don't know if I shouldn't trust Nevada or if Vanderbilt's actually good. Like that's where I'm at. Like I don't know what to take away from that game.
I can't bet it. I don't know what the line is either because I can't bet it. I haven't looked.
It's 1.5.
No. Tomorrow's game against Seton Hall, Vanderbilt.
Oh.
They're gonna wipe the floor with Seton Hall.
Especially after that huge win for Seton Hall today. Comeback victory too. Unbelievable.
Yeah. They're gonna crush Seton Hall.
I don't know. I don't know about all that. All right, so we got Utah State, Iowa. Why is Utah State laying to Iowa?
Because Utah State.
This flipped?
Let me see if I messed it up.
Just make sure it's right. I got it at.
Oh, my bad. No, it's Utah State plus 1.5.
I got it at +2.
Damn it, my bad.
I was gonna say. Whew.
I was really excited for a second.
I wouldn't have been. Here's the thing, though. I wouldn't have been surprised. Like some of these games, some of the way that these lines moved, I wouldn't be shocking at all. But go ahead, Andy.
Iowa State is laying. I was going to bet them. But... So I redid the poll. Iowa is laying here, not Utah State.
Did you say you got 2.5?
I got 2.
What with Iowa?
I can still get a 2.
With Utah State. Utah State. Pretty. They both run super fast paces, which is why I looked at the total. But I thought the fact that it's, I believe, neutral site, right? Kansas City neutral site. I didn't really want to play an over in that because they both are going to run fast and everything. This one simply came down to I think Utah State's going to shoot the lights out. Iowa, they haven't exactly played a tough schedule. Neither one of these teams have played the toughest, but Utah State, I trust their shooting more. Their game, their point distribution, they're more balanced than Iowa. I think Iowa's trusting the 3-point shot way too much. Utah State is due for a good 3-point defensive game overall. So yeah, I like this Utah State one. I was honestly surprised when I saw they weren't favored. So that first hit to me. So that was why I looked at that. But yeah, I like Utah State here.
Bender, we have a Bender sighting in the comments. He says Aggies the play here, so he agrees with you guys.
Yeah, I haven't bet it yet, but now that I can still get a 2, I'm going to do it as soon as this show's over. My dad's in town, so I'm a little behind today. But one thing, Utah State's very, very good. I just want to make that clear to everybody. They're not just some little mid-major. I mean, what Danny Sprinkle's doing over there is, very, very impressive. Last year they fell down the stretch a little bit, but they were 8 seed in the tournament last year. It's not like this team was just absolutely garbage. They were a 10 seed the year before that. The only reason I mentioned that is just so everybody realizes it's just not some random team from Utah coming across to Iowa. And I feel like we've already seen Iowa play this type of game against Washington State, who likes to run a little bit, has a little bit of size, is well coached, just like Utah State is. And it took, Iowa won by 10 against Washington State, but keep in mind, Washington State was flying across the country. That was their first game flying across the country. I just feel like that spot alone for Iowa, and keep in mind that Iowa team, they put on the gas in the last 10 minutes of that ball game. It was essentially a 1-point game or a 1-possession game, 75% of the game. So I honestly feel like we've already seen Iowa play this game, and I feel like they were lucky to win by 10 against Washington State, and now they play a better team. Washington State's 84 in KenPom, Utah State's 49 in KenPom. Utah, and again, this is supposed to be a close game. So what do we want? The team that can shoot better free throws. Utah State, 77% free throw shooting team. Iowa's barely even shooting 70%. Iowa's a little bit bigger, but I don't really think it's going to matter. I also think that the Iowa defense looks really, really good because they haven't played teams that aren't at least collectively together like Utah State. Utah State's very deep as well. They're going to use 8-9 guys no matter what. It's just how they roll out there. But again, I just think they're going to be able to get the ball inside. Yeah, I think Utah State wins this ball game.
So we got 2 in from the Rodfather. Number 1 says bet on Utah State on the money line after 1 or more consecutive overs. Utah State record in such instances since last season, 25-9 against the number. So there's one for Utah State. And Rod comes in with another one. Bet against Iowa in away or neutral games after playing 4 consecutive games as a favorite. Iowa's record in such instances since last year, 0-6. So everyone seems to be going Aggies. No. Iowa for me. Just a better program. Utah State doesn't belong at this level. This is insulting to the Hawkeye Nation. Iowa wins this one.
Iowa has struggled to rebound a little bit this year so far, so they haven't used their size to their advantage yet. This would be a spot for them to do that. But
Utah State.
And I said at the end of mine, I talked about them inside, and I didn't mention a name. I just like the fact that they have that Templeton kid to start, and then I can't pronounce his last name, but it's like Auburn Gortisi or something like that. But he can play too, and he's a senior off the bench. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that.
Utah State, not a defensive program, or at least their football team isn't, so I would imagine that translates over to a poor defensive basketball team as well. They play fast, they can score, can't make stops. Not in the Big Ten. Iowa wins.
I hate you.
It's gonna win, too.
You can't even,
I'll know in the morning if Utah State's like a public dog and they're still plus 1.5 or whatever. We'll know right away.
I already know. All right, last game. Yo, wait, we got Duke, Arizona?
Yeah.
Bro, I will bet
In
this
Arizona.
one.
I can't wait.
Andy, why don't you tell me
Tell
that
me.
Duke, Arizona? I could get hyped for Feast Week if I knew we were getting Duke, Arizona.
I didn't know I had to tell you. You should have been hyped for Feast Week already. I don't know what to tell you.
Andy, you were sitting here in the office all hyped up watching an Ohio-Middle Tennessee game at 12 noon.
And I'm gonna be
I don't even, we're not talking about that game right now. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I can't believe they blew that lead, dude. I thought you had it. Sadly, I watched the whole game. Andy put it on in the office.
We can't foul up 3 anymore. I mean, I understand that's like the easiest low hanging fruit there is, but Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I agree.
All right, so
I think Arizona's gonna crush them.
thank you.
Really?
Let's go. Yes.
The one time we
Duke is
saw
not good.
Duke-
I'm sorry.
but Cooper
ahead.
Flag, bro.
Who cares?
up again. The one time we saw Duke play somebody, and I know it's early in the season, but the one time we saw Duke play a team with a lot of talent and they can run a fast pace, they didn't get blown out by Kentucky, but it was pretty comfortable, and we all kind of knew Kentucky was going to win that game for most of the game. And Arizona's coming off just getting pummeled on the road in Wisconsin. I don't remember because it was like a year ago now. This is a revenge game, or Duke going to Arizona. This is a revenge game, right, Toast? They lost to Arizona there.
Well, yeah, it would be a revenge game. Yeah, they lost last year by 5.
Yeah, it was
but
all
Duke was at
different
home
players.
last year.
It's not all different players. The point
Cooper
guard
Flag's new.
Point guard, they don't like him. So they've been playing against Caleb Love for what, 4 years now? So
That's so true.
There
I
is
didn't
a
even
lot
think
of-
about that. I didn't even think about it like that. Touche.
no, I think Arizona's gonna crush them. I think this Duke team, they're not overhyped, but there's so much hype right now that they're not gonna live up to it early. It's a tough game. This is Arizona. They don't want to see their second loss already. So yeah, I think at home as well, late night game. Yeah, I like Arizona a lot here.
I think I like Arizona as well. I haven't bet it. The one thing that initially held me off is that the free throw shooting hasn't been great. But I will say that the performance against Wisconsin, they probably should have won that game if they had a normal night from shooting from 3. So I think they were like 4 for 28 or some crazy number like that. But the one thing is that what does Duke want to do? They want to get out and run, and then they want to play through the post with Cooper Flag. And then if Proctor or whoever can get up some shots and do their thing, that's great. And that's all great. But I think that Arizona is one of these teams that A, would love to run with them, because that's the one thing that's the only thing that Tommy Lloyd knows how to do is get up and run. And B, I think they have the size on the inside as far as Arizona is concerned to match up with Cooper Flag. I mean, the Karivas guy 7'2", that Wiesner guy, I'm butchering these last names. I don't even want to try to pronounce them all, but that guy's 7 foot. The Akwala kid 6'8", Townsend 6'8". I mean, it's not like Arizona's small at all. And honestly, in a game with a small point spread like this, is Cooper Flag a fantastic talent? Yes, there's no question about that. But he's also really predictable. He's not really great with the ball. And if that's the guy that you're going to be putting the ball in his hands in crunch time, I'll take my chances with an Arizona team coming off an embarrassing loss.
That seems a little biased based on what happened in the one game against Kentucky. Is he turnover prone, or is that just a one-time thing?
Until I see otherwise, yes.
Because he did turn the ball over in the 2 possessions to lose the game against Kentucky.
I feel like you're asking a lot out of a 19-year-old kid to run the Duke program. I'm not saying that he won't be better, continuing to get better, but as far as right now, and what is this? Their first true road game, because the Kentucky game was on a neutral. Yeah, so this is going to be their first true road game. This is going to be his first true road game out in the desert. How many times has Cooper Flag been to the desert? I don't know. And by the way, who does Duke play next? 4 days later? This team called Kansas. They're pretty good. That's a pretty big game as well. So maybe a look. I don't want to say it's a look ahead.
No, it's not.
I'm not saying it's a look ahead spot. I'm just saying that's people are going to talk about that. I just wanted to put that out there. So we'll see what happens. But I think that Arizona definitely has the horses to match up with them. There's no question about that.
We have something in from the Rodfather. Bet on Tommy Lloyd after allowing 85 points or more in a game. Lloyd's record in such instances as the coach of Arizona is 8-0 against the spread. And to be honest,
how many points? Sorry.
8-0. Let me pull it back up. It was 85 points. So I guess after a poor defensive effort, that one, I tend to agree with you guys, by the way. This number feels short. Arizona's a premier program. This is a true home game, you said. 1.5. I mean, they're saying so that what would this be on a neutral? Duke minus 1.5. We're
Yeah, I think Duke is favored.
I guess. I honestly, and I hate saying this, but it feels like the books want you to take Duke. Give you Duke at plus money, plus 100. Go ahead, bet it up. Cooper Flag and the boys bounce. I especially after everybody watched that Arizona game. I mean, that was one of the bigger games of the first week of college basketball, and they got absolutely throttled. So that's still going to be fresh in the public's head. So
I like your guys' pick on this one. I'm down to bet this with you guys.
I actually, and if you don't want to pick a side, I mean, I wouldn't mind an over either because they're going to get up and run. Like defense, I mean, they're going to want to get out and run. That's just what both these teams do. So as long as neither one of these teams goes cold for stretches, which I don't think is going to happen, you're probably safe with the over. I would watch it though. If it starts to creep up, hit it. If it starts to creep down, probably stay away because it's been like that when you're watching lines. But anyway.
All right, let's do a quick community top bet, and let's call it. So the 4 games we did were. All right, so
I just got your text, Andy. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So they like the Wisconsin minus 5.5. So I'm gonna put community top bet. They like Wisconsin minus 5.5. I think that's a bad pick. Wisconsin can't be trusted, especially early in the season. Where's Helms? He's from Wisconsin. Just look at Helms. That's all you need to know before you place that bet.
That's true. I think Helms laid minus 9.5 with Wisconsin alt line.
Wait, you're being dead ass serious?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, like I'm definitely gonna bring that up next time I talk to him.
He's sleeping right now. I know that because he works like super early in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody asked where Scoop was. That's also what he's doing, probably sleeping.
No one knows. Okay. Scoop's probably in the comments for all I know.
Yeah, under a burner. All right, what's the community top bet here? What was the community top bet yesterday?
Good question.
It was Baylor minus 2.5. Oh. Andy switches from St. John's going to win. He goes, they covered.
No, it was Andy covered. He didn't say they. He said Andy covered.
Andy won. I don't know why there was such like a thought. I didn't bet St. John's money line. If I bet St. John's money line, I probably wouldn't have showed up tonight. I would have been pissed. I didn't bet that. I'm not a St. John's fan. In fact, I said it during the game. I hate them.
You're
now.
not a St. John's fan. Who are you trying to convince right now? You yourself? You love it. You want me to pull it up?
You just went a jersey like this on the screen.
Yeah, I bought a jersey.
With like a big ass smile on your face. You're like this. I'm not a St. John's fan.
I'm just saying. I bet their spread. The spread covered. Andy covered. I was happy.
I have a quote from Andy. I swear to God, this is an exact quote I'm reading. I like Scott Drew, but I'm 100%. I could kick his ass. That's the type of shit that he was. That's the type of shit Andy's sending me. And you're telling me he's not a St. John's fan.
I could
what are we
kick his
doing?
ass.
I'm saying there was like a spot in the game where he was like yelling at a ref, and I was like, I could totally kick his ass.
Oh,
All
I love
right.
you, Andy. That was funny.
Rod threw another one in here. Bet against Houston after scoring 80 points or more. Houston's record since the 2023 1-10. Houston, who did they play, Toast?
Hofstra.
You like Hofstra?
I do a lot. Speedy class.
Are you guys kidding me? The community top bet's about to lose back-to-back days. Someone go in there and vote for something other than Utah State, please. Iowa's winning that game.
I disagree with you.
Yeah, everyone does. Those are the ones I usually hit.
What's
not
your
doing
early thoughts on the now Tennessee Baylor game? I know we haven't gotten a look at it, Toast, but my head, if Baylor's not too banged up, I think they should crush them.
I was going to say I don't like the fact that Baylor's coming off that. I mean, that's a really big letdown, and Tennessee kind of cruised in that second half, obviously. But I'd like to see what the line is. I think Ken Pom has it 3 or 4, so in favor of Tennessee. If I get 4.5 or more with Baylor, I'd probably jump.
Oh, shit, I messed up, guys. I put Iowa in the poll instead of...
You put Iowa and Utah State?
Yeah. It's
How many people are voting? 17?
31. There's actually a decent amount of people in here right now.
Jeez.
Bunch of freaks out there watching at this hour. At this hour? All right, so we're running one more poll because I have to put Creighton in there because they did vote for Creighton.
I looked at Mississippi State SMU as well tomorrow. I don't know if you did that.
I didn't. Somebody asked me. Actually, I was happened to just look at this in the comments. I saw somebody asked about Hawaii and North Carolina. Again, I don't love the fact that North Carolina is going to travel to Hawaii, but it's like completely opposite styles. North Carolina wants to get up and run as fast as they can. Hawaii is going to slow it down. They can't shoot threes. North Carolina should blow them out. I would lay the big number if I had to bet the game with Davis and Cardo. I don't really think Hawaii has anybody to match up with them, but maybe the trip to the island does it. Another thing, North Carolina is really good at shooting free throws too, so you don't have to worry about them getting fouled and missing a lot. North Carolina should win pretty easily.
They were taking that trip anyway because they're going from Maui, so they went.
Oh my God, yeah. Then play on North Carolina for sure.
Yeah.
Someone said they brought up the Blizzard game. I got to admit that was very fun to watch, and not just because I had the Browns. Obviously, that helps. I am not a weather game guy. I really don't like them. I think they should all be played in domes, and I know that's an unpopular take, but I mean these weather games when you close up 3/4 of the playbook and they run power, counter, trap, outside zone. It's like watching high school football. I personally enjoy the playbook. I like the plays. But that being said, that game was awesome. That was one of the best football games I watched all year. So maybe the take is expired a bit. But normally when those weather games, you don't see the best football. I mean, it's more just like cool to see the weather. But that was awesome. That was a great game to watch. That was like one of the most fun games to watch of the year.
I honestly can't believe San Francisco lost that basketball game.
I knew it. That's why I didn't bet it. That Memphis team is ridiculous.
So the top bet, they didn't vote for Utah State this time. They wised up, although they went and picked Duke, which is another bet I don't like. I like your guys' Arizona pick. I think that's going to hit.
It's rare. You usually don't like our pick.
Because you're not very good.
You really like the over on Oklahoma State today after I said I like the under?
No. I thought that was Toast agreed with what you said, and I thought that was cool. I was joking when I said that.
I know. Okay.
I wasn't joking about Iowa. You guys are wrong. I was winning.
I was at an all-time high until today, and then Iowa lost in overtime.
One losing day,
Baylor
and you're
lost
back.
in overtime. No, I'm not back. I'm just saying that it's just hard to pull the trigger really fast like I was. I was feeling myself.
Yeah, you had like 3 monster days in a row. One losing day.
I was feeling myself. Ohio lost in overtime, and then and then Baylor winning but not covering my 1.5. It just really, really hurt me. And then the San Francisco losing, 46-33 in the second half to lose by 4. Just garbage.
You and Scoop both bet the last two. Maybe you should just not bet when Scoop has already bet it.
All right.
Scoop is the ultimate push.
Rod also says he likes the under in the Memphis game, guys.
I don't hate that. Yeah.
All right. So, community top bet today is Duke +1. Tomorrow we'll be back in the normal time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I got videos coming tonight for those of you that are going to be up for the long haul. What NFL game did we just do, Andy?
Vikings-Bears.
Vikings-Bears is coming now. And then we got Friday night college football games for tomorrow night. That video will be up in probably like 45 minutes. So those videos are coming if you're staying up. I'll see you all tomorrow. Yeah. Talk to you guys later.